out of nowhere, I felt lightheaded. I knew my blood sugar was probably crashing, and as soon as I started seeing spots, I knew I
La
my desk, it was gone. I looked around the room, but when I looked towards the front, I noticed Miss Kelly licking the chocolate off her. Oh, was that yours? Shouldn't have left it out. No snacks in my class. What? Miss Kelly, I needed that. My blood sugar is dangerously low, and I can barely fast turn to look at me, and I knew I had to get some sugar ASAP. I had M&Ms in my locker, so I started walking towards the door, but just as I reached for the handle, someone grabbed me. She stepped in front of me and said, "Where do you think you're going?" I told her my insulin pump was warning me, and I had to get some candy from my locker. "You're not going anywhere until I dismiss you. I really need sugar, or I'm going to black out." She looked me up and down. "Nice try. You just want a snack. I know a binge eater when I see one." I felt like I was losing my balance. My classmates started to notice this was serious. "Please, Miss Kelly, just let her go." "Nope, that door stays locked." My insulin pump beeped again, but before I could say anything, I felt my legs gave out.
Cocofanto elefanto.
And the entire class yelled, "Miss Kelly, she needs it." But Miss Kelly kept going. "She's obviously faking it." Then she walked over to her desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out a Kit Kat. "What's wrong, Tubby? Jealous?" She unwrapped it and started eating it right in front of me, not even breaking it in half, biting it down the middle like a psycho. I felt my consciousness fading out, and I thought this was it for me. But then I heard a giant thud. I felt someone grabbing me and tilting my head up. Then the sweet taste of something pouring in my mouth. I opened my eyes and saw the 300-pound linebacker, Jabari, pouring Kool-Aid into my mouth. And when I looked up, Miss Kelly was knocked out on the floor. He saved my life, but before I could thank him, he broke the Kit Kat in half and finished it. I was in class when out of
What's the problem?
Baby,
Pizza Hut.
Domino's Pizza.
Pizza Hut.
Domino's Pizza.
Pizza Hut.
Domino's is better.
What got first?
You can't stop.
A5.
Right.
Is that it?
You can still change if you want.
No, A5.
Nothing.
Oh,
I told you.
okay. Your turn.
Let me think.
What? What was that? What was that? You cheated.
What?
I saw a flash.
Which flash? What are you talking about? I think you're going crazy.
Which number?
C3.
C3. I think you cheated.
Yes.
B5?
Bruh.
Yes. Oh, twice?
I put 2 on B5. Come on.
Yes.
B2.
B2.
Yes.
I think
One more point I
you're
win.
cheating. I don't like it.
I'm not cheating, I swear.
I think B3.
B3?
Yeah.
Why?
Did I win or not?
You win.
Pizza Hut.
Officer, somebody just want me for my shoes.
Did they?
Yeah,
Sorry.
they took them.
What happened?
They just took them. Can I have a sticker?
Yeah.
Thank you. I have to confess a crime.
What happened?
Can I feel your muscles?
No.
Oh, man. Do you think you can help me pass the chicken on way back?
Yeah.
One more time. Catch up. You guys got a party?
No, not today.
Can you...
He shot at the tiger, shattering her jaw and teeth. Now, she survived, but her injuries made her too weak to catch deer. So, she started hunting humans instead. For years, she killed hundreds of people, leaving only bloody scraps behind. Eventually, a famous tracker found her and ended her reign of terror with a gunshot. But when he looked closer, he saw the broken teeth and realized she didn't choose to kill humans. She had to because of her injury.
When I was preparing for surgery, something unexpected happened. Even though the doctor had already given me general anesthesia, my consciousness was completely awake. I could even feel the pain the moment the razor scraped across my chest. Not only that, I could clearly hear the doctors talking.
Everything okay?
Sleeping like a baby. That's when I realized the anesthesiologist had been drinking before the surgery. He gave me the wrong dose, which meant went under. When they were about to begin the heart transplant, I completely panicked.
No, 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 no!
But no one could hear me. At that moment, I was like a piece of meat on the cutting board, waiting to be sliced open. When the scalpel cut into my chest, the pain spread through my whole body. I could only think of my beloved wife to distract myself from the agony. Suddenly, the anesthesiologist's craving for alcohol kicked in again, so he left the operating room. The lead surgeon, Jack, immediately stopped the procedure.
I don't know if I can do this.
As I listened to their conversation, I heard a shocking secret. This so-called heart transplant was a complete scam. I'd had a serious heart condition since childhood. My trusted friend and doctor, Jack, had convinced me to go through with a heart transplant, saying it would cure me once and for all. I believed him and even asked him to perform the surgery himself, but it turned out to be a setup. He had gathered a few doctors to stage an accidental death during the operation. Because the original anesthesiologist quit halfway, they brought in that drunk doctor instead. At that moment, I suddenly realized I could move. I tore off the tape, sat up, pulled out the tube, and stepped down from the table. But when I turned around, I froze. It was only my consciousness that had woken up. My body was still lying there. Just then, my wife walked in.
How's it going? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I thought I finally saw hope.
No, don't trust him, babe. He's lying to you.
She seemed to hear my voice and began questioning the doctors.
Bullshit. What the hell's going on in here?
That's right.
When I was preparing for surgery,
Of course, I love fidget trading. These are the items she has. These are the items that I have. You can start. Ooh, a candy bar with a sugar texture. I love that. I'm gonna start with the poppet. Yes, I'll start with. I'll add another poppet. I guess so. This is like, no, that's too cool. I guess I'll add this stuffed animal. Are you gonna accept now?
I guess.
Yay! Okay, cool. I only got one thing, you got three, but I'm still happy. I'll start this time because I have this super cool, super long wacky track. Okay, that's cool, but it's kind of common, so if you could add, please. What's inside the dumpling? Okay, yeah, that is cool. I accept. Yay, this is so fun. Oops, I almost forgot my lid. You can start this time. Okay, I'll do this really cool pointy fidget. Sure. I'll add this. It's so colorful. I accept. Okay. Yay! Thanks for fidget trading with me. This is everything I got. Of course.
I told you I'd be back.
Hi, Dinah. How's it going?
I was about to head out for a walk when a muscular guy grabbed her from behind. He dragged her right back inside. She screamed in terror, trying to tell him she was pregnant, begging him to let her go. The bastard didn't care. He brutalized her without mercy. Then he started throwing punches, one after another, slamming his fists into her stomach. By the time my colleagues arrived, my wife had stopped breathing, and that animal had the nerve to raise his hands with a smug grin on his face. Soon after, I burst into the house. Seeing my wife lying there in a pool of blood, I couldn't breathe. The pain was suffocating. I drew my gun in range, ready to blow away the killer standing in front of me, but my partner immediately stopped me. The guy had already confessed. If I pulled that trigger now, it would be murder. I was seething, grinding my teeth in fury. The bald man standing before me was Victor, the drug dealer I busted 6 months ago. Never thought the first thing he'd do after getting out was come after me for revenge. Looking at this monster, my face twisted with rage. But my badge meant I had to play by the rules. Let the law handle it. In that moment, I hated being a cop more than anything. After my wife died, I spiraled into guilt and regret. All I could think about was revenge. So I shaved my head, loaded my gun, and prepared to execute a crazy plan. Using the files, I tracked down one of Victor's hideouts. Before making my move, I told my partner where I needed. Then I slipped in with my gun drawn. The 3 thugs inside had no idea what was coming. The next second, I stormed in and opened fire. He dropped instantly. Another punk with bleached hair tried to grab his gun, but I wasn't giving him a chance. For scum like this, you fight fire with fire. That's when my partner Billy showed up. When he questioned me, I didn't say a word. I just put my hands behind my head and dropped to my knees. As expected, I was convicted of murder and sentenced to prison. But that's exactly what I wanted, because Victor was locked up in this same prison. Getting inside was the only way to carry out my revenge. But what I didn't expect was being called to the warden's office the moment I arrived. The warden knew exactly why I was there. He warned me not to cause trouble. He made it clear crystal clear that Victor was under his protection now. If anything happened, no matter who was responsible, he wouldn't let it slide. Considering I used to be a cop, the warden assigned me to the laundry room, a relatively cushy job. Meanwhile, Victor got word that I was in, but he wasn't worried at all. In his prison, he ran the show. He walked right up to me, snatched my food, and snarled. Sure enough, just like you said, the next day I got jumped in the laundry room. Even though I could handle myself, I couldn't fight off multiple guys taking turns on me. Eventually, I ran out of steam and hit the ground. Some curly-haired punk picked up a shank from the floor, ready to stick it through my throat. Lucky for me, a guard showed up just in time. The inmates scattered, and I dodged a bullet. A few days later, during yard time, I got talking with one of the guards. He told me why Victor was so untouchable. He cut some kind of deal with the warden, running shady operations on the side. Victor used his connections to help the warden make money, and in return, the warden kept him safe. I didn't say much after hearing that, because no matter how powerful Victor was, nothing was going to stop me from avenging my wife. Back in my cell, I started putting my revenge plan into action. I pulled out a pen from under my bunk, removed the ink cartridge, and sharpened the plastic shell into a weapon. My first target was one of the guys who jumped me in the laundry room. When he wasn't looking, I drove the pen barrel deep into his shoulder. Turns out the guy was tougher than I thought. He yanked it right out and came at me. Even though he was badly hurt, I didn't get the upper hand. After a brutal fight, he had me pinned down. He grabbed the pen, ready to finish me off. But at the last second, he collapsed from blood loss. After taking care of him, I set my sights on the next one. While he was sweeping, I made my move. I knocked him out cold with a broomstick, then used it to choke him out, releasing all the rage I've been holding in. 2 deaths in a row had curly hair on edge. Obviously, he knew he was next. So he went to Victor, hoping he'd step in. Victor didn't hesitate. He sent one of his top enforcers to handle the problem. Before long, the guy stuck into my cell and ambushed me. Caught off guard, I took several heavy punches. Once I got my bearings, I fought back. After knocking him down, I grabbed the sink basin and smashed it open. Just as I was about to continue, a guard burst in and tackled me. Then I was hauled off to the warden's office. Clearly, the recent incidents had pissed off the warden. But strangely enough, he extended an olive branch. He said if I was willing to cooperate, he'd let bygones be bygones and make it worth my while. I'm not stupid. I knew he wanted to use my connections, and there was no way I was getting fed with someone like him. When I refused, the warden immediately threw me in solitary. But that didn't stop me. I used the time to get stronger. Preparing was about to head out for a walk when a muscular guy grabbed her from behind.
Do you want a new phone but don't have the money? No need to ask.
I'm gonna go eat. Oh, let me see that you're correct. No eat here. No eat here. Well, you did that for Isn't L here and E for Lee? His name is Lee, right? But there's no Lee. I told you there's no Lee here. Well, so could it be P? For P. You didn't go to E here. And the word is also not P. No. So could it be P? No, there's no 2E. Could it be me? No O-W. And the word is not meow. Oh, you like feet. Well, could it be F-E? For feet? But wait, what is the last one here? You got a green T. You know, it's a green F. You got feet correct. Oh, so it's literally just the feet emoji. I'm gonna go eat.
Things I do not care about as a teacher. I have a little list here. First thing I really don't care about is if you forgot your pencil. Like, this is why I always have pencils ready to go. So if you don't bring a pencil to school, I do not care. Come grab one of mine and you can keep it. Keep it for as long as you want. Forever. Keep it forever so that you have it for the rest of the day. And if you need one again tomorrow, you betcha you could come get another one. The next one is eating in my classroom. I don't care about that. Obviously, if you like spill something and make a mess, I do expect you to clean it up.
Yes, ma'am. I'm cleaning it up. Okay, how many eggs do I have? I have 21. You got no eggs, really.
But I don't care if you're eating in my class. We all gotta eat, you know. The only thing I do have a problem with, though, in terms of food, is I have some students who to go get food, and that's when I draw the line. Like if you're missing class to go get food, that's when it becomes a problem. If you get the food beforehand and bring it in. Next one is having music in your earbuds during work time. Might change next year with the new laws coming in, but I personally don't care if while you are independently working, if you are listening to something in your earbuds. Next is if you are a little bit late to class. I don't typically start class right when the bell rings, especially if I haven't even started teaching yet, like people in like a minute or two late. That
What my first graders want me to play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What my third graders want me to play?
Rain was pouring outside the car, but inside, the thief was dying of thirst. He had been trapped in this luxury car for 3 days and 3 nights. The only thing left that could quench his thirst was the urine he had left 3 days ago, but the sharp, disgusting smell alone.
Mom stormed into the kitchen and slapped my cereal bowl so hard milk splashed all over me, screaming, "Stop stealing our food, you little thief." I stared in shock as she said, "From now on, you buy your own groceries or you don't eat." I wiped the milk off my face and promised her she'd never have to worry about me again. Then I drove to the grocery store and scanned every item at checkout with the same employee discount I'd been using to fill our fridge for the last 2 years. I kept the receipt, wrote my name on every single item, and told my parents good luck doing their own shopping. My mom laughed. What, like it's hard? On their first grocery run, my parents tossed Perrier, truffle oil, and Tide Pods into the cart without checking a single price tag. But when they saw the $400 total, their smiles dropped. "This store is robbing us," Dad yelled when we got home. But the old receipts in my drawer had the same exact prices. By the end of the month, they spent $2,500 on groceries. Then Thanksgiving came, and my parents covered the table with a $40 frozen turkey, a $30 fruit tray, and bottles of Perrier at every seat. Soon guests started pouring in, and they took their seats at the dinner table. When my aunt marveled at all the food, Mom proudly listed off every price and bragged about how much money she saved. My aunt spit out her drink. Then the whole table started talking over each other about coupons and sales my parents didn't know existed. My mom started crying. "How were we supposed to know? Nobody told us." My aunt looked confused. "Why didn't you just ask your son? He saved me hundreds of dollars." My uncle nodded. "He's the one who told me about Senior Discount Tuesdays." My mom wiped her eyes and said, "He never once offered to help us." I instantly pulled out my phone and showed the whole table over $15,000 in grocery receipts, all paid for with my money and employee discount. Everyone stared at my parents in disgust, and one by one, the whole family grabbed their things and left. My dad waited until the last car pulled out of the driveway before he said, "Just go back to doing the shopping." "Sure, but groceries aren't free. That'll be $200. Mom's face went red. "You're our son. You don't get to charge us." I put my hands behind my head and leaned back, smiling. I thought I was a thief. Wouldn't want to make you accomplices. Mom stormed into the...
As soon as the man threw his chips on the table, the dealer secretly changed the numbers of the dice. But the man became suspicious when he heard the sound of changing dice. He immediately put his remaining chips on number 12. His move proved to be correct, and he won the big prize. He gave 10,000 chips to the dishonest casino player. When the casino owner came to know that he had won a huge amount, he sent his smartest and cleverest players to recover the lost money. But the man was absolutely calm and was enjoying the game. He just gently lifted one corner of his cards. He thought that this way his cards would remain safe, but he did not know that the casino had recorded all his cards with cameras. When the data of those cards was checked, it was found that he had an ace. To defeat him, the dealer prepared bigger cards than his cards. As soon as the cards were revealed, the man took out his 2 eights and threw them on the table.
Lucky Rot.
He noticed the camera installed behind him, and he had deliberately put a toothpick in between his cards. He misled the casino people, and with this trick, he won an even bigger amount. The casino owner was furious to see this. He sent his most dangerous player, One Eye, who had never lost in a card game till date. The man called his partner Jack so that the game could start again. Jack saw the numbers of the dice inside with his special power, but the man told him that it was of no use, because there is a special machine under the dealer's feet with which he can change the numbers of the dice. Hearing this, Jack damaged the short circuit of the machine with his power, and put all his chips worth 10 million on small. As soon as the dealer tried to change the number in the machine, he got a strong electric shock and fell down on the ground. Now, One Eye himself came into the fray. He too had special powers like Jack. He tried to change the numbers inside the cup with his powers, but Jack quickly changed the dice again. One Eye understood that the opponent was also his equal. Without saying anything, a fierce fight started between the two with gestures. So much power was used that the dice kept rotating continuously. Everyone was staring at the cup. Jack understood that if he continued, the cup would burst, and everyone would know the truth. He used his iron head technique and hit the table hard and broke all the dice. Then the casino owner himself came forward and said, "This match is a draw, because no one is playing honestly. The decision will now be made with just one last hand, 2 against 2. Jack agreed. Now Jack was in front of One Eye, and the man himself sat in front of the owner. And one last round of gambling began. The cards were dealt, and One Eye started looking at all the cards with the help of the sensor in his eye. But the man was very clever. He kept the cards between his palms. One Eye tried a lot but could not see anything, and after some time he opened his cards, and the lowest 2 came out. The owner thought that he was the winner, but as soon as he showed his cards, Jack's photo was printed on them, so the cards became invalid. Then Jack opened his card, and as soon
out of the house. The Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord. Holy shit, where did you find this thing?
This man had no idea he was holding an ancient sword worth a fortune.
So how much do you want for this beauty?
I don't know, I was thinking maybe $200.
The sword is completely rusty, covered in thick corrosion, as if it's been rotting for centuries. The seller says he pulled it out of a pile of scrap, just sitting there like it had been forgotten for years, and he almost threw it away because it looked that worthless. At first glance, Rick thinks the exact same thing, just a dead piece of metal, nothing special. But then he notices the shape, the curve of the blade, the design of the handle. Something about it doesn't look right. So instead of walking away, Rick calls in an expert to find out what it actually is. The expert takes one look at it and is instantly amazed. He explains it's a pulwar, an ancient Afghan sword used in brutal combat hundreds of years ago. It was designed for warriors on horseback, with a curved blade built to slice through enemies.
Okay, so when was it made?
The 17th century. It's a neat piece.
Now with that said, time for the big question.
Okay, so what's it worth?
Comment if you want part 2.
A man asked 3 nurses to stick money onto their hips, but this woman only managed to stick a $1 bill. Seeing this, the other 2 nurses began to mock Vanessa, but the man watching Jaden said nothing and only mentioned that there would be more tests later. The second test was about balance. After all 3 nurses took off their shoes, the first 2 crossed the balance beam with ease. Along the way, they popped balloons and took out the dollar bills inside. When it was Vanessa's turn, Jaden gave her some hints. Meanwhile, the 2 nurses who had already crossed secretly poured water on the beam. As soon as Vanessa stepped on it, she slipped and fell. Jaden shook his head, but still pulled Vanessa out of the water. Next came the final test. Jaden called his father in. Mr. Hayes, and the final task was to take care of him. Obviously, the first 2 nurses had no idea what to do. They immediately began to complain. When Mr. Hayes mumbled that he wanted some water, only Vanessa reacted quickly. She picked up a cup, poured water, and tried to help him drink. But one of the nurses, Chloe, stopped her. Worse still, Chloe went too far. She directly poured the water over Mr. Hayes' head. Not only that, the 2 nurses even ordered Vanessa not to help him. Just then, Chloe noticed a thick stack of cash in Mr. Hayes' arms. She was shocked. The other nurse, Leah, even tried to take off an expensive necklace from Mr. Hayes' neck. They began discussing how to split the money. At that moment, Jaden walked in. He had the butler present the final hiring results. To Leah and Chloe's shock, both of them were eliminated. It turned out the entire process had been recorded by cameras. Jaden had seen everything the 3 nurses had done. A man asked 3 nurses to stick money onto their hips, but this woman only managed to stick a $1 bill. Seeing this, the other 2 nurses began to mock Vanessa, but the man watching YouTubers recorded their final.
I'm bored. Let's pierce your tongue.
Let's pierce your tongue.
Mario, do you notice anything different about me?
No, baby, you're perfect.
Mario, you didn't even look. Mario!
Oh, what do you want, baby? I'm just trying to watch TV.
Mario, you don't notice anything different about me at all?
Get your hair done.
No, you silly goose.
Quack.
Mario, don't
What do gooses do?
Mario, I can't do eye contact. I can see so much better.
Great, I can see the TV at the glance.
Jeffy said today at school.
I don't care, baby. I really don't care. Who are you, people?
You made it see it. So you...
Ketupat Kepat Prekupat. Ketupat Prekupat.
Damn, boy, that's a real life mermaid. Oh shit, her tail is stuck. Damn, her tail is stuck. I swear, this man's been doing the most system profile this game. Like, why are you searching me? I ain't got nothing. Damn. I don't know, you already searched me. Why you doing it again? Andy, you rat! Damn, I ain't seen Coco in a minute. Oh! Don't let that slide. Yeah, Coco. Alright, now this is getting out of hand, bro. I think it's time we get Coco on the diet. Because why is he struggling staying in the gym? Bro, how? Check the whole 300 pounds. Damn, boy, that's a real life mermaid. I didn't even know they existed. Yo, look. Look right there. Your friend is trying to say hi to you. You good? Oh, shit. It might be the ops.
Bro about to be the first ever snake to try Gatorade. It's a shame, though, because he will spend the rest of his life trying to find more. He never will.
Hey, what you doing here, buddy? Your owner's probably looking for you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hands. Look at your hands. Stop resisting.
Man, I hope you're ready.
Pikachu. Throw the ball inside. Get the drop on the spot. She can try for an op. Yo, look.
Okay, I'm gonna do this in the morning.
You good?
I feel like it.
Might be the